If you are the owner of a team, you can manage the overall settings. To find where you manage this, there's two ways to get there. You can select the ellipses, and from more options, select Manage Team. You can also right-click over the team and get the same menu to pop up, and then select Manage Team. Once you select Manage Team, you will see tabs over here to the right for the various areas that you can customize. The first one is Members. And this is going to show a listing of who the owners are. We can see that there's one owner, and that's Heather Fremont. And then a list that we can expand called Members and Guests, where we can see a list of members. Those are individuals that are teammates within your organization. And guests would be those that have been invited to this team that are external to your organization. This might be clients, contractors, vendors, and more. And that will only be available if you have guest access for Teams enabled within the Admin Center of Office 365. Now, over to the right of Pierce Boyd's name that we see here in the Member section, we can see that his role is Member. And earlier in this course, when a new team was created, we looked at how you can add members and then elevate that role from Member to Owner. Let's go ahead and make the change here. We're going to make Pierce an owner of this publishing team. Now you'll see that Pierce no longer resides in that members and guests section. He's been moved up here to the owners section. While hovering over his name, we're able to also get a contact card of various ways that we can communicate with Pierce, like starting a chat, sending an email, or even taking a look at the organization and where he falls within that org chart. Okay, let's go ahead and move on from the members area over to pending requests. If this team is a private team, and you'll notice in the upper right corner, we can see here that publishing is private, you will have this pending requests tab. If someone has requested to join this team, their name will be listed here where you can approve them being part of this team. At the moment, there are no requests listed. Let's move on to the Channels tab. The Channels tab is where you can manage all of the active channels as well as any channels that have been deleted. Within the active section, we can see that there are 4 channels: General, which comes with the team, as well as Idea Exchange, Online, and Print. By default, the General channel is going to display for you and for everyone else that is part of that team. So there's no check marks here for us to check or uncheck. If we move down though, you'll notice that Idea Exchange, Online, and Print is showing for Heather Fremont. That's the person that's logged in at the moment. And over here to the right, these have been checked as well. The typical status for these is these are not checked until you go in here and you make that selection. What this means is show for members is that these will show up in their listing over here on the left underneath the team. So this is how you can make sure that these channels show up for everyone, especially if you're adding a new channel. You can add a new channel in the upper right corner. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what happens if we select the 3 ellipses next to this print channel. We have a menu of ways that we can work with this. We can get an email address to email that channel directly, get a link to the channel, edit the channel, work with some connectors, delete this channel, and follow this channel. Now, many of the things just mentioned from this menu we will be covering in separate lessons of this course. Let's go ahead and delete this channel. We do need to confirm that we want to delete it by selecting the delete button, and once we do, you'll notice that that named channel is no longer appearing in the active area. It's now in deleted. If we expand this, here is the print channel that has been deleted. It also indicates the date in which it was deleted and a way for us to restore and bring that back. Let's go ahead and select restore, and it's now part of active again. Great way for you to take a channel offline if you do not want anything being added to it and not having it visible for your teammates, and then bring it back as needed. All right, let's move over to the Settings tab. This is where you can add a team picture. If we look over here in the team's listing, notice this P in the green square. This is what would be replaced with the picture that you can add in this section by selecting Change Picture. Let's move down and expand member permissions. There are many different things that you can uncheck if you would like to disable your members creating and updating channels, allowing them to delete and restore channels, So all of these things right now being checked is saying it's allowing them to do all of these things. But what if we don't want members having the option of deleting their messages? Let's go ahead and uncheck that. And as we continue to scroll down, there's some additional choices for ways that you can customize the general channel settings. And if you do have enabled guest access, guest permissions, by default, these are not checked. We are going to leave them unchecked. And a way to work with @mentions, which we will get into in a separate lesson of this course a bit later. We're going to focus on team code. This is something that can be useful as an owner if you do not want to have to go through those pending requests and approve each person that's requesting to join your private team. You can generate a code. Let's go ahead and click the generate button. Here's the code that can now be copied to the clipboard and pasted somewhere else and handed out to individuals as needed. Once you no longer need this code, you can remove it, and we're back to generating a new unique code in the future. Okay, let's move to the Apps tabbed area finally. Within the Apps tab, it shows a listing of some apps that are included with this team. Microsoft Forms, OneNote, Planner, SharePoint. If one of these is not needed, you can select the trash can to uninstall that app from being available within the team. If you'd like to add additional apps to have them available for everyone, select more apps in the upper right corner, and it will take you to the Teams store. Now, over here on the left, you'll see that we are looking at a listing of all, which is we're browsing all of the available apps and services by working with the scroll bar here on the right. If you'd like to concentrate on one specific area, like apps, now we're seeing a listing of the apps. If you'd like to install one of these, you can get the process started by selecting that tile. And that's how you can manage a team.